Hello students, in this video we are going to study about the query processing algorithms for the join operation. There are several different algorithms to implement the joins, like the first one nested loop join, second one block nested loop join, third one indexed nested loop join, the fourth one merge join, and the fifth one hash join. Now the choice is based on the cost estimate, that is, the cost that it takes to execute these joins. So let's look at these algorithms one by one. Let me mention that we will be not be doing hash join as it is not in your syllabus. Okay, so we'll be only studying the first four join algorithms. So let's start with the nested loop join. So suppose we are computing a theta join of the type R theta join S, then the algorithm for it will be having a nested loop, okay, wherein R will be the outer relation and S will be the inner relation of the join. So we are going to have a nested loop for in this manner. For each tuple TR in R, do begin the inner loop. For each tuple TS in the relation S, do begin. Then we will test the tuple pair TR and TS to see if they satisfy the join condition theta. If they do, we will add the result, add TR and TS to the result, the join of that. Okay, and we end the loops. So, like I told you, R is called the outer relation and S is the inner relation of the join. Nested loop joins do not require indices and can be used with any kind of join condition, but it is expensive since it will examine every pair of tuples in the two relations. So let's see how to compute the cost of a nested loop join. Suppose we are having a join between two relations, student and takes, and we assume the following information about the two relations. The number of records in the student relation is NR is given by 5,000. Number of blocks in the student relation say is 100. Okay, so there are 100 blocks which contain the student records. The number of records in the takes relation is say 10,000. And the number of blocks in the take relation is say 400. Okay, so let's see how to compute the cost based on this data. So, in the worst case, if there is enough memory to hold only one block of each relation, then the estimated cost is NR into BS, where NR is the number of records in the relation R and BS is the number of blocks in the relation S, plus BR, which is number of blocks in the relation R. This is the number of block transfers that will require, plus the number of 6 that will be required is NR plus BR. Okay. Suppose the smaller relation fits entirely in the memory, then we can use that relation as the inner relation. Doing this will reduce the cost to BR plus BS block transfers. Okay, and we will just require 2 6. So from these many number of block transfers, if the smaller relation fits completely into the memory, then the block transfer will be reduced to BR plus BS. So let's assume that we have the worst case memory available. So therefore the cost estimate will be using the data from the previous slide and with student as the outer relation. Okay, if student is the outer relation, then the cost, the block transfers, the number of cost will be applying this formula using the data from the previous slide. We will get the block transfers as so many. Okay, 5,000 into 400 plus 100. Okay, we will get so many block transfers. Similarly, the number of 6 will be using this formula 5,000 plus 100, so we will get 5,106. But if you have to take the takes relation as the outer relation, Then, and using the data from the previous slide and applying these formulas, then we would have got 10,000 into 100 plus 400 equal to so many block transfers. And applying this formula, we would have got 10,406. Okay. So, but if the smaller relation, that is student, would fit completely into the memory, then the cost estimate would be just 500 block transfers using this. Okay, where BR is 400 plus 100, or using this data. Okay, BS is 400 plus BR is 100. 400 plus 100 using this formula would have got just 500 block transfers. So the next algorithm, or the next type of algorithm for join, is the block nested loop join. So in the block nested loop join, it's a variant of the nested loop join. So in the nested loop join, what we were doing was we were fetching the tuples and checking the joins based on the tuples. Okay. Here, what we do is we fetch the blocks of the two relations. So suppose we are having two relations R and S, we fetch the blocks. Okay, we fetch a block of the first relation, that is R, we fetch a block of the relation S, and then we check in this block there are many tuples. Okay, we check the tuples within these blocks for the join condition, and based on that we do. So if R is the outer block and S is the inner block, then after we have checked all the tuples of this first block, we fetch the next block and we check for the join condition, and we continue this process, okay, till all the blocks in S are checked. After that, we fetch the next block of R. Okay, that is the second one. This was the first one, this is the second one. Again we start, okay, as per this loop conditions. So just you need to remember that block nested means we fetch the blocks. So the algorithm will run like this. For each block BR of R, do begin, okay, inner loop. For each block BS of AS, do begin, again inner loop. Now we start fetching the tuples, okay. So for each tuple TR in BR, do begin, and for each tuple TS in BS, do begin, and then we check whether TR and TS satisfy the join condition. If they do, then we add that join to the result, and we end all the for loops. Okay, so you need to remember that from here it is basically your nested loop join. Okay, this is just your nested loop join. Okay, here we are fetching the blocks like I explained you at the beginning. So how do you estimate the cost? So in the worst case, the cost will be BR into BS plus BR block transfers, and the number of 6 will be 2 into BR. Okay, here there should be a comma. Okay, it's not plus. So the number of block transfers will be BR into BS plus BR, and the number of 6 will be 2 into BR. So why 2 into BR? So each block in the inner relation S is read once for each block in the outer relation. In the best case, the number of block transfer will be BR plus BS. The number of 6 will be just 2. Okay, again this is the comma. So we could improve the nested loop or the block nested loop algorithm by using M-2 disk blocks as a blocking unit, okay, for the outer relations, where M equal to the memory size in blocks. The remaining 2 blocks could be used to buffer the inner relation. Therefore, the cost of that would have been BR divided by M-2 into BS plus BR. So this will be the number of block transfers. The number of 6 will be 2 into BR divided by M-2. If you are using a equijoin, okay, and the equijoin attribute forms a key or an inner relation, then we could stop the inner loop on the first match. So we could also use the scanning of the inner loop by doing it forward and backward scanning, okay, to make use of the blocks remaining in the buffer. So we could use something like LRU algorithm to do that. Okay. Next possible optimization is by using the index on the inner relation. So we will see the next algorithm wherein we are going to use the index on the inner relation. So the third algorithm is the index nested loop join. So index lookups can replace the file scans if join is an equijoin or a natural join, or if an index is available on the inner relations join attribute. Okay. So therefore, if it's available, then we can construct an index to compute the join. So how we can do that is, for each tuple tr in the outer relation R, use the index to look up the tuples in S that satisfy the join condition with the tuple tr. In the worst case, the buffer will have only space for one page of R, and for each tuple in R, we can perform an index lookup on S. Therefore, the cost of the join will be Br into Tt plus Ts plus Nr into C, where C is the cost of traversing the index and fetching all matching S tuples for one tuple of R. C can be estimated as a cost of a single selection on S using the join condition. If indices are available on the join attributes of both R and S, then we can use the relation with fewer tuples as the outer relation. We can do this to reduce the cost. Okay. So let's take an example and see. So suppose we are computing a join of student and takes, with student as the outer relation. And suppose with takes, say takes has been implemented as a b plus 3 index with the attribute id. Okay. And there are 20 entries in each index node. Since we have already mentioned that takes has 10,000 tuples, let's say the height of the tree is 4. Okay, because there are 10,000 tuples. So we will need, since the height of the tree is 4, we will need one more access to find the actual data. So actually it will be 4 plus 1 equal to 5. We have already also mentioned in the previous slides that student has 5,000 tuples. Okay. So using the previous formulas that we have already discussed, the cost of a block nested loop join would have been, okay, using the formulas that we have discussed, it would have been 400 into 100 plus 100, so 40,100 block transfers. And the number of 6 would be 2 into 100, so the number of 6 would have been 206. So here we are assuming the worst case memory. Okay. Taking the same data, the cost for an index loop nested loop join would have been, okay, 100 into 500, sorry, 100 plus 5,000 into 5. Okay, how we get 5? Height of the tree is 4 plus one more access is needed to find the actual data. So 4 plus 1, 5. Okay, so 100 plus 5,000 into 5. So you would have got 25,100 block transfers. And for each block transfer, we require one SIC. Okay, so therefore the number of SICs also would have increased. The block transfers decreases when you compare index nested loop join and a block nested loop join. The number of block transfers decreases, okay, but then the number of SICs will increase. So since the number of SICs is less for block nested loop join, therefore the CPU cost is likely to be less. So The last algorithm that we are going to look with respect to joins is the merge join. Okay, or we could have also called it as sort merge. Okay, so we assume that the data is sorted. Okay, so otherwise we need to apply the step one, and therefore we need to include this cost then. Okay, of sorting. So if the data is not sorted, we need to sort both the relations based on their join attribute. Okay, again, if it is not already sorted, once it is sorted, apply the second step. So we will merge the sorted relations to join them. The first one, we apply the join step similar to the merge stage of the sort merge algorithm. Okay. Second, the main difference is in handling of the duplicate values. Okay. The every pair with the same value on the join attribute must be matched. The detailed algorithm is there in the textbook if you need to refer. Okay, so just like I've explained the merge join previously, we apply the merge join and we get the sorted condition. Based on the sorted join condition, we obtain the, these are the two relations and we apply the join. Okay, so merge join can be used only for equijoins and natural joins. You need to remember that we cannot apply merge join algorithm for other kinds of joins. Every block needs to be read only once. Okay, assuming that all tuples for any given value of the join attributes will fit in the memory. Therefore, the cost of the merge join will be given as br plus bs block transfers. The number of 6 that will be required is, again this is the comma, br divided by bb plus bs divided by bb 6, plus if there is the data is unsorted, then the cost of sorting will be also added, so therefore there is a plus. Okay, if you're computing all this together, you can put a plus sign, otherwise it will be a comma. Okay, this algorithm could be modified. The modified algorithm is known as the hybrid merge join. So in case if one relation is sorted and the other relation is a secondary p plus 3 index on the join attribute, then we can merge the sorted relation with the leaf entries of the p plus 3. Sort the result on the addresses of the unsorted relation tuples. Then we can scan the unsorted relation in physical address order and merge with the previous result to replace addresses by the actual tuples. In this case, the sequential scan is more efficient than the random lookup. So thank you students for listening about the various join algorithms.